What if your job isn't really about your job at all? What if your job is about you becoming? What if your job is about you evolving as a being? What if it's about you and I co-creating, co-evolving as we share this planet we call Earth? I want to tell you a story to clarify that. Can I tell you a story? Okay. And the story is about my life. And I'm going to ask you that as you listen to this story, hear my words, but then also listen internally and find where you can identify to begin to better understand my questions of what if, and to answer the question for yourself. Here we go. My first real job when I started adulting was in accounting. It lasted all of 3 weeks. I recently graduated from what I refer to as the best HBCU in the land. That's Howard University. Any Howard out there? Let me hear you. All right now. I chose that major because I was forced to answer the question, what do you want to do when you grow up? A teenager hanging out with her friends, thinking about what I'm going to wear next, is not thinking about what I want to do with my life. Layer on top of that since elementary school, all the way, even through college, I got straight A's in math. Always. So they tracked back then. I think it was legal, right? And I got tracked right into the business track, which then led me into holding a seat in the accounting class, where I was still getting A's. So when I was forced to answer the question, what do you want to do when you grow up, AKA declare a major, I figured, well, this accounting thing seems to be working out, so let's do that. About my second year into the program, I realized, Sharon, this ain't it. Nevertheless, I pressed through. And with my accounting degree in hand, I went to that job, and like I said, 3 weeks later, I was out of there. Okay, so here I am again, thinking, what do I want to do when I grow up? Well, I looked around, and my friends who were also accounting majors, they all left. I find it so funny. They all left the field, and they all started becoming teachers. So I thought to myself, well, this is a noble profession. I like to talk. I like to help people learn stuff. I'll be a teacher. I'm telling you, a few months into my master's degree program, I started thinking, I don't think this classroom thing is the thing. Nevertheless, I pressed on. 3 times I tried to leave this field of education. But it took 2 job-related hospitalizations, being diagnosed with anxiety and depression related to my job, being prescribed medication for the anxiety and the depression to be able to cope with the job. Does this sound crazy? Okay, thank you. And then being laid off 3 times in a row, despite doing a great job. I said to myself, wait a minute now, and you can probably say it with me, I said, Sharon, all right, thank you. This ain't it. Around that time of my last layoff, I read a book by Michael Singer called The Surrender Experiment, where he was talking about surrendering to the flow of life. And I was like, maybe I should try this surrender thing, because for my entire adult career here, the last 2 decades, I have been doing this thing where I'm figuring it out, making it happen. This was my favorite phrase back then, making moves. I don't know if you know that one. And working my way to the top. And here I was once again asking myself, what do I want to do when I grow up? And I was in my 40s now. So I'm not working, and I need to make ends meet. So I use what's in my toolkit. I started teaching yoga. I started doing health coaching. But then I ended up having to move because the ends weren't meeting that well. And one day out of the blue, a college friend of mine who used to also be an accounting major, turned data analyst, just called me just to talk. And one thing led to another in our conversation, and the next thing I know, she was offering her place for me to come and live with her while I got myself together at this time in life. So I figured, hey, I'm doing this surrender thing. Let's go. A month later, I found myself in my car with everything that I could fit in it, on the highway, driving down to St. Petersburg, Florida, sight unseen. I knew nobody. I networked like crazy. I joined every group I could find to begin to know people. And I volunteered to build connections in my community. Experiences led to opportunities, and opportunities led me to the job that I have now, one that I never even aspired to in my life. Nevertheless, out of 200 plus applicants, I found myself being announced as the CEO and executive director of the Tampa Bay Healthcare Collaborative. What? There are so many things that I could talk about that has happened since that time, in the 2.5 years since I've had the role. Like, for instance, last year, we launched an app to help nonprofits find each other so that they could collaborate and foster community well-being and health equity. Another thing, I wrote a book recently, just had a book launch celebration this past Monday. The book is called The Conscious Collaboration Pathway, also to help nonprofits with a methodology to go along with the platform, the app, for successful collaboration. And I won awards. Regionally, statewide, and most recently, globally. Okay? I'm saying globally. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, now wait a minute. 2.5 years? Why didn't all this stuff happen in my past 2 decades in my last career? I know why. Ask me why. Thank you. Because, I hear it. It's about how I show up to do what I do and not what I do. When I show up to work, I surrender to what life puts in front of me. And I do it from a place of love. The Institute for Research on Unlimited Love has done extensive studies over about the last 2 decades on the benefits of working with love. They define unlimited love differently than compassion and sympathy. It's not the same thing. Unlimited love is when you care about the well-being of the other as much as you care about the well-being of yourself. Okay? That's not sympathy. That's not, I wish them well, or I want to see the best for them. Think about it. Think about how much you care about your own well-being. And then think about caring for the well-being of another to that magnitude. That is unlimited love. Now, someone might be thinking, maybe in the room, Sharon, okay, I hear you on this love stuff, but can't that get in the way of work? Okay. I have 2 answers for you. No, and no. The Institute has shown through studies that when we work from a place of love, workplace productivity increases. It increases. During that time when I was laid off, I wrote another book. That last time I was laid off, I wrote another book. It's called The Wellness Purpose Connection. And it's funny because I see now that that book was literally for me. That was my journey that I needed to reflect on. It's like I wrote the book, closed it up, turned around, handed it to myself, and said, here, read this. What I learned was that your well-being is connected to your work, your purpose. I learned that when you are in alignment with the work you are to do, and you get in that alignment by doing what life puts in front of you, you experience less stress. You reduce your chances of experiencing the diseases related to the stress. And you reduce your chances of having to take the medication related to the diseases. Isn't that something? Working in alignment with unlimited love and doing what life puts in front of you could actually help your well-being. I know that bringing love into the workplace could be a challenging thing for people to consider, because you wonder, how do I do that? You do it by paying attention to the little signs that are given to you along your path in life. When you do that, you're able to experience less stress. Remember, I'm sharing my story, and you're thinking about your own journey. You're able to experience less stress because you're not worried about who you're measured up to. You're doing your thing. You're not worried about what's the economy doing because you're moving according to what's being shown to you. And you're not worried about what is some supervisor going to say or do because you're moving according to what you're being shown to do. You are taking the steps as they are laid before you and you are working from a place of unlimited love. I know that many of us in the room have probably been asked the question, what are you going to do when you grow up? But what I want to propose to you to think for yourself and for younger people in your life, please don't ask them that question. I want you to replace that question with, how do I want to be in my work? If you are not able to fully express who you are, walking according to a path that is being shown to you, and fully expressing unlimited love in the work that you do, then perhaps you have some thinking to do. Thank you.
Thank you.